location for a hand cannon up in this base. And if not, for a stop room.
I mean, not in this base, but it should probably be easy to acquire. It's basically cannonballs, isn't it?
I mean, it's just stub ammo.
Oh, just uses regular stub ammo?
Yeah, a hand cannon is just a fucking really big revolver.
Alright. In that case, there's plenty of ammo around.
Oh yeah.
After all, you maybe remember that this place has a small arsenal?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Plenty of regular ammo as well as some auto pistols.
Um,
In the meantime, Kai, what have you been doing?
Yeah, I assume I was not. Was I part of the fighting or not?
You were part of the stealth team when we were trying to do the when I was trying to put the tracking device on the vehicle, you were with the group that was there to kind of provide distractions from a distance, so it would be easier. I don't know if you were the one who suggested pull the fire alarm.
If you want, we can retcon it that you were there during the War Beast. If not, you can tell me what you want to have done.
Well, if I was part of the fight, I assume I got some use out of my hand flamer, so I'll probably be somewhere siphoning a barrel for some more promethium.
Stealing fuel from parked vehicles it is.
Yes.
Alrighty then, having done that, you get a good night's sleep. In the morning you have a nice breakfast. And as you leave, you notice there's something taped to your door.
Is it a bomb?
No, in fact it's a playing card. You take
Oh
a closer
no.
look.
this is Dre Gloves.
Silly Marcus, there's no clubs in Imperial cards. There
Those
is,
are
however, an
illegal.
arbitrage.
Hey y'all.
Greetings.
This playing card displays one of the Adeptus Arbites, and on the backside is a scribbled note. Just 3 words. Is it done? Now, Kirby and Zebediah may remember, well, and Draken as well, yes, that they made a promise to a certain criminal.
Yeah.
It appears he's getting impatient.
It also appears as though found our base,
Yes.
which is an alarming situation altogether.
Marcus and Draken may give me some sort of logic test.
Sure.
By Kirby though, he's not logical.
Nope.
Zebediah. While of course you remember that you took a catatonic Kirby from Old Alice to your base, you're pretty sure you took the necessary steps to avoid tracking. You didn't see anyone following you.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
So, $1 million question. What you gonna do about it?
Alright. So we can be assured, based on that logic test, that we took the necessary steps to make sure that we were followed by a person. The real question is, someone chip us? Or do they got something else up their sleeve as to would indicate how they fucking found us?
Good question.
Perhaps we should check all of our gear to ensure that no one didn't slip something into one of our bags or pockets.
Hold on. I'll pull out the old scanner and take a look. Sit down.
Everyone who wants to look for any kind of chips or bugs, give me your choice of awareness or tech use if you're dismantling gear or using gear.
I'm using, I assume, some kind of...
The scanner, yes.
Yeah.
Zebediah, try as you might, you can't find any chips or any other electronic tracking devices.
Well, no.
Your pockets are empty.
I find nothing. Unfortunate.
No chips. No tracking devices. Must have followed us.
But how could they have followed us? We took necessary steps to prevent that.
What are we talking about?
We took an assignment. Well, impromptu assignment, I guess. We have a bit of leeway to do investigations, well, person investigations, besides from our standard mission objectives that we get issued out. It's like, and I'm like pointing out where it's in the handbook right there. We decided to follow up on a lead from that one, and I pointed Zavakaya about some experimental drug. Managed to find it, and had to go through a few steps to confirm that it is what it is. More importantly, we found a person who can supply a large amount of it.
Hmm.
And they're looking for a transport. Particularly, I said I could get us a Valkyrie to transport the stuff.
Right.
So I could kind of draw them out into the open. Essentially, I was going to arrive with the Valkyrie,
But what
giving them the assumption that, oh, cool, he does actually have the Valkyrie. We'll bring all our drugs to this location, and then we can fill the Valkyrie up with drugs. Except when the door to the Valkyrie opened, it was just going to be a stormtrooper squad waiting for him.
And what does it mean? Is it done yet? Has there been an issue in you getting the Valkyrie?
It shouldn't be that too much of a problem.
Well, don't forget you made a second promise.
I've got Navy connections. We just finished a mission for the Majos. I'm sure requisitions in order. The real problem though is if I can get a hold of the stormtroopers again.
I believe the three of you are forgetting the second promise you made. One more pertinent to the face of the card.
That has been a while, so I do not remember that.
You made a promise to eradicate Arbitus, that Arbitus being me.
Yeah.
So since then, we have realized that the Arbitus section of my background is further back, and I have been a knight since then. So, with the ecclesiarchy, which is more pertinent, thus my armor being colored like a knight, not the Arbitus, and no Arbitus badge, no Arbitus uniform.
True, but you did claim to be an Arbitrator you were interrogating the barkeeper,
Yes.
which is how they originally found out.
Yes.
So,
So that stands.
to deal with that issue is we gotta go by the morgue. Gotta find someone who vaguely looks like you. Has done too much rotting.
Shoot him in the face with a plasma pistol.
I don't know where the fuck you're gonna get a plasma pistol, but
I'm just spitballing ideas.
yeah, we're gonna shoot him in the face. Well, not in the
Yeah.
face. He's gotta look still recognizable. So we're gonna go do that now.
So you want to waltz into a morgue?
Well, no, we gotta go down there with a degree of credentials. They might raise a lot of questions like, why are these mismatched group of yahoos coming in trying to take a body out of the morgue?
I look at the good doctor.
Right, so which credentials do you want to use? Actual ones from the Mechanicus? Maybe faked ones?
Doctor?
Looking
I don't have a doctor.
you.
Me? Well, I hate to tell you this, but I don't have a medical license.
You don't?
Why did I let you touch me?
That is an excellent question.
I should have just shot myself while I was lying there injured.
Hey, you're alive. Be
Probably.
thankful about it.
I'm just gonna slowly place the barrel of this gun to my temple.
Oh, don't worry. The change isn't noticeable. Nah, I'm kidding. You should be fine.
You were very smart to correct that sentence. I was about to touch the button. And popped your head like a fucking watermelon. Anyways, I'll go look over the credentials that we've got, some of the Mechanicus, some of the fake ones, and let's see which one seems the most fitting.
There are 3 different sets of researching credentials. So you could, for example, pass off as part of a research team that needs the body for, let's call them experiment.
This one could work to get the cadavers. What else we got?
Oh, you got a whole set of documents. The 40k equivalent of a paramedic, whatever that is. There's some local law enforcement badges. You have papers for the PDF. Again, about 7 different sets of credentials from the Mechanicus from different branches, including 3 research ones, as well as about a dozen different civilian identities for each of you.
Why don't we
Okay.
operate with the law enforcement and the paramedic? Go take some poor, insolent soul who has betrayed the Emperor, kill him, bring him to the nearest morgue, and attempt to find the body we're looking for.
Here we could we could avoid actively going out and inflicting violence upon the populace. If we just take the medical team researcher credentials, we can take a local law enforcement badge from here, and I'm like looking through. Is there one for a foreign national?
Among the law enforcement badges?
Just among any of them.
I think all of them would be, considering what you guys have told me about the Arbitus.
No, just a foreign national.
I mean, foreign national is a very.
I don't know why I keep saying
broad
foreign
thing.
national. Is
Do you
is
mean
there
from a different
is there an
type, or
is there an is there an identificator for someone not from the planet?
yes, you can probably get one of the law enforcement ones that knows you were not originally from the planet.
Yeah, because I need 2. If I recall correctly, the lie I spun is that the Arbitrace on this planet is it's an investigator who showed up on planet, went to the local Arbitrace facility, and got clothes and equipment befitting befitting work on this planet to look like a local officer. Well, as local as an Arbitrace can get, considering that they're trained on a shrine world and then sent to a planet, so they have no loyalty.
So yes, you could get one for law enforcement and probably several ones for the civilian identities.
Yeah.
That note you're from off.
Yeah, so I'll need 2. One, so if they want to get real thorough about this, they're gonna find an identity badge for a fucking Arbitrace, and they're gonna find one for a fucking foreign citizen. So at least I can keep up with that lie. If they want to get real technical.
Right? Yes, you can get those.
Alright. And I'm like looking over like the fake IDs for fake identification for researchers. And I'm like, okay. I'm looking at Uncle Zedekiah. How familiar is this planet with him?
Well,
Like, if I gave him this identification and then we walked to that location and he tried to use it, how fucking familiar is he to the local medical societies?
I mean, probably a little.
Considering he's a fucking pariah. Without actually being the mechanical pariah.
Marcus, feel free to answer that question.
Like I said, probably a little. At least famous around certain circles as the guy who completely went ahead and managed to get himself completely banned from the medical circles.
Did you inject an adept with bleach?
Well, that
No.
too, but
But that was a legitimate experiment.
That was a legitimate experiment because honestly, fuck the adepts.
To be fair, it improved that adept's work.
I was just trying to improve them, you know.
I mean, the unit's overall efficiency increased.
Briefly.
No, permanently.
Yeah.
You would be surprised what the purple biogel does to you.
I believe you should rephrase that as you will be surprised what it did to you.
I'm not surprised. I'm appalled. But is this your very fancy way of saying that if you use this ID, there is the potential possibility that you would be compromised? Fucking.
Well, at least the higher ups gonna spy me.
We might have to chat with the higher up if we encounter some difficulty with a drone who is going to need to talk to at least 3 fucking supervisors before they let us do one fucking thing.
Then perhaps, if that's the case,
on this scouting mission of getting the cadaver.
Then again,
we're at the adept. Or Kai's. Wait, are you an adept, Kai? Is that your role? Or was it Sage?
I think Sage.
Yeah. Oh wait, because you're a
Yes.
dialogus, I think. You're
Yes.
Dialogus? Yeah. So I look at the dialogus and I'm like, okay, you're on retrieval, dude.
Yeah, and
You actually look.
I'm somewhat famous
You
with.
actually, thankfully, don't have a fucking reputation on this planet.
Hmm. It appears that anyone who stays longer accrues one.
Yeah. We'll go get the body with the indicators and whatnot.
Yes. Got myself a small reputation with the criminal underground and the medical side.
Also, you're now a bit of a school example on why you have to do paperwork properly. Those people don't know
Exactly.
your face; they just know your name.
Yeah.
That mysterious voice.
Once we get that settled, then comes the more challenging part. As for our mighty knight here, I look over at the our fucking crusader. You got some interrogating to do.
Oh, really?
Like, hand you like a little data slate with the directions to where the where they took the scientist. Get what you can from them. I think
Very well.
mechanic I think the biologists want him alive for own questioning, so don't rough him up too bad. But get what you can from him.
We'll see what he can tolerate.
I'd like to know kind of to a degree who was funding those expeditions to steal that growth serum. If it was a noble house, if it was some underground criminal syndicates. Well, I mean, we know it's a syndicate, but
The syndicate.
I'd like to know how far the rabbit hole goes.
It goes through. It's a hole.
Gross. All right, chop chop. Let's get moving.
Any bonuses on the interrogate?
Alright, so if I understand this correctly, Draken will make his way over to the Stormtrooper base, which is where the scientist is currently being held, while the rest of you are looking for a morgue.
That is accurate.
Lovely. I suppose we'll be doing the interrogation first. So you make your way to the Stormtrooper's hideout. It takes you a solid hour. And you are stopped at the entrance. Halt there. Who are you? As a side note, these are Inquisitorial Stormtroopers.
You can be up front.
I am Crusader Dracon. I am here to interrogate the prisoner.
He nods to you. We were expecting one of you, sir. Please follow me. And he leads you towards one of the interrogation rooms.
And he is
Where this-
instantly unnerved by my very presence.
As everyone is, yes.
On a completely
I've-
unrelated note,
I've been purchasing bonuses to that, by the way.
God damn it.
on a completely unrelated note, I learned about an interesting technique that people do with horses called Twitch.
I think that's a live streaming service.
No, this is a device called the Twitch.
I think it is.
Well, yeah, no, there is obviously a live streaming service called Twitch, but there's a device called Twitch. Apparently this is soothing to a horse, and I refuse to believe it.
That looks painful.
It's apparently not. It reduces like endorphins and whatnot that like slows heart rates and shit. And I just told everyone that thing looks like the fucking like cracker you would use to break
They're
open a
taking
crab shell so
Nutcracker.
you could eat a crab.
They're taking Nutcracker to that horse's nose.
It's apparently soothing. I said it sounds like fucking horseshit.
Anyways.
I'm sort of reminded of the African lip rings. If you do too much, I bet the gums will get really long, or lips rather.
So that's how you get a unicorn.
Yes.
So yeah, as far as my lack of a psychic ability, I have Soulless Aura and Psychic Null. Any enemy characters within my willpower bonus meters suffer a -10 penalty on all charm and deceive. And this guy's not a psyker, but if he was, I wouldn't have an issue avoiding his attacks.
Alrighty then. Speaking of this guy, as you enter the interrogation room on your own, the stormtrooper stays behind. You see a man tied to a chair with a sack of cloth over his head, quivering. You also see a variety of tools. They don't seem to have been used yet. They're of the cutty, pointy, crushy variety.
My first question to him, well, I'm gonna walk in and I'm assuming there's a seat present somewhere in the room for me to take a seat.
Yes, you can take a chair.
Okay. I'm going to take it and slam it down in front of him and take a seat.
He visibly is scared at the sound of the chair. He obviously can't see you with a sack over his.
I am Crusader Draken. Real quick, before I continue my little monologue, what information do we know about this individual? Name, family members, things like that.
Did you want to say something, Marcus, or can I?
Yes, go ahead.
You know his name, which honestly I do not remember, so we're going to call him Steve.
Okay.
You know that you found him in the base that had the spawning pool. You know that he is very scared of his employers, claims to not know a lot, and that he was basically just being paid to replicate the war beasts.
Okay.
Yeah, that's.
So, again, slamming down the chair, sitting down in front of him, saying, I'm going to also remove the sack over his head before I start talking.
Be right back.
Let him get adjusted to the light, and then I'm going to begin my monologue. Hello, Steve. My name's Crusader Draken. You might remember me from that little bout with that massive beast you helped create.
In all seriously,
This can go one of three ways. The easy way, the fun way, and the really hard way. Now, me, I've got all day. I've got forever, to be quite honest, to figure out what exactly it is you know. But you don't. See, there's other people that want to speak with you, and they're not as forgiving as I am. You should by now understand you're being held indefinitely. And there's very little you can do besides tell the truth to do anything to increase your survivability and perhaps the longevity of your life. And how comfortable that might be.
I have returned.
Yes, of course. Please, just don't kill me.
How many fingers have been broken?
None yet.
Then tell me what it is I need to know.
But you haven't. What do you want to know?
Who are your employers? We asked you this before.
No, they never gave a name. They gave money, but look, there was this guy once. He was wearing an emblem. I have no idea if that has anything to do with it.
Describe the emblem.
It was this skull, but it had these horns, these really long horns. It wasn't a human skull either. It was elongated. Haven't seen one like that before.
I'm gonna let it out alongside. Oh. Come on now, Steve. You're pressing my patience here. I need more to work on than just an emblem of a skull.
Please, sir, I don't know any. They just gave us money. They just told us what to do and gave us a lot of money for it. They
I'm
didn't.
gonna get up and
they
start
never
walking
told us
over by the tools.
Please don't.
You're forcing my hand, Steve. I don't want to do it this way.
I don't. I don't. He just seems utterly incoherent at this point with fear.
What sort of tools do I have here in front of me?
Different kinds of knives, hooks, a hammer or two.
Car battery,
Some
nipple
that-
clamps.
Oh yes.
What is
Some
this?
that-
The scene from GTA?
Some that clamp down, some that spread. This is a professional's tool set here.
Alright, so what sort of bonus does this professional tool set provide me?
With the circumstances, and him being so terrified, easily plus 30.
Just remember, Steve, I tried to do it the easy way first.
Okay, he cannot physically beat that. Oh, no, please no! Ah! And then the screaming starts. And we'll fade to the other team for a moment as you work on Steve.
Okay.
The three of you have successfully located a morgue. What is your plan?
Alright, you got your credentials?
You've got the credentials you wanted, yes?
Oh, I was saying that to
Oh, sorry.
Aurora.
Yes.
Darn.
So we are requisitioning a cadaver.
Yes.
Very well. And it is for medical purposes.
Yeah. If anybody asks, it's the experimental well, it's for an experimental procedure.
Well, I suppose those are not unheard of on this particular planet.
Yeah, it's a stock standard use for this planet.
Can I roll scholastic bureaucracy to refresh my memory on the proper procedure of acquiring a cadaver from a morgue.
Absolutely.
I'm sure there is an established protocol of that. It
There
is a
is.
fairly common occurrence.
There is, and since you've been exhaustively reading the notes that Kirby had on the planet, you get a plus 20 on that.
100. 100.
Alrighty then. You know that it's not uncommon for bodies to be checked out by research personnel. Sometimes parts are used, sometimes they are used for food, sometimes they are used in the training of war beasts. It's really rather common,
And sometimes
especially
just
considering
for
they
fun.
don't. I mean, yes, but those are officially for war beasts.
Officially for base, actually just fun.
Yeah. Now, you know for a fact there are several forms, depending on the different usage, that you could fill out and just hand over. Along with a small fee, of course.
We should be able to cover the fee.
The fee is easily within your operational budget.
Very well. Can the requisite forms, do they have to be acquired from an administrative office prior to arrival at the morgue, or does the morgue provide said paperwork?
Now, they are commonly brought with the person checking out the body, because they are usually signed by one of the supervisors of a manufactorum or a research lab. But for a larger fee, they can also be signed in the place itself. This is not strictly legal, but it is a common practice.
Yes, the expedited process. Since we probably don't have a suitable name that we could use for this particular paperwork, I suppose we'll have to expedite it. So,
I mean, you have a name, it's just whether you want to use it or not.
Fair enough. Well, I shall inform my colleagues that yes, there are some administrative hurdles that we'll have to jump through to acquire this cadaver. However, two main options present themselves. One being that we expedite the process with a somewhat significant sum of thrones. The other being that we potentially link this acquisition to an individual of some report. One who would have to green light the acquisition, so to speak. Of course, it is possible that it being such a mundane and normal occurrence, they will take no notice. But
I think the moment they'll start taking notice is when we don't just ask for a regular cadaver, like just any cadaver, that we got real picky. That's when the notice would start, which we're going to need to get fairly picky.
oh right, a specific one.
He's got to be a very large individual who is also bald.
Well, I'm certain that that could be arranged. It might take a few subforms attached and some. Yes, yes, that can probably be arranged.
Alright. You ready to go in?
Yes.
Get your cover identity already? Know who you're betraying? Arranges attachments. I don't know why I read that as arranges arrangements. I don't know why I like read it real fast. And I was like, arranges arrangements. It's like, I mean, regardless, right there, that's just an overload of A's.
Well done.
But yeah, we'll go in now.
You go in, it's a fairly small morgue, there's no one up front. You go down a flight of stairs through a heavy, solid door, and there's a coroner standing over a body, doing what appears to be an autopsy. He hasn't heard you yet.
Right, so we are gonna get the paperwork done here, so we would not have it with us.
Yeah.
Okay. Do they have, paperwork available, or forms available somewhere in a convenient stand?
Well, you're currently in the morgue proper, but you didn't see any stands with forms going down here.
Mhm. Well, then I suppose we'll have to go through the rigmarole of requisitioning of a form to requisition the proper forms. Oh, great. Yes. Greetings.
Oh, what? Oh, hi there.
Hey.
Not too
Obviously being
used
startled.
to having.
Yeah,
Yes.
obviously being startled by your entrance, which he hasn't noticed. He drops what appears to be a spleen.
Mm.
Oh, sorry. What can I do for you?
Why, yes. Sorry about startling you. I suppose you're not too familiar with people being too alive around you. But yes, we are here to requisition one of your work subjects. Where could we find the requisite forms? We're specifically looking for requisition form ABXN sub/64D.
Oh, that one you can find in that drawer. He points at one, fingers bloody. I'd give you one, but
Oh, yes, yes. We would not wish to soil the Emperor's holy paperwork.
precisely.
I
He bends
open
down
the
and picks up the
drawer,
spleen.
I go to the drawer, take the form, and start filling it out meticulously.
Right. May I ask who you are affiliated with and what you need the body for?
We're affiliated with the Mechanicus Biologus Center. On the east side.
Ah, I see. And the purpose of the body?
It's a research project. It has to do with essentially long-term preservatives.
Something well over our pay grade. We're just here to collect the cadaver.
I see, yes. We get that sometimes. Though more often than not, we get one of the low-ranked researchers wanting to pick out the body themselves. Anything specific you want?
I pretend to look at a notepad. It was specified rather bulky individual, preferably no hair. Recently deceased, if possible.
Let's see. Bulk I can do, no hair. I've got someone with a very short hair. You could probably shave the body if that helps.
Yeah, we could probably shave it. They didn't really give a specifier as if the hair had to have been gone from natural baldness.
The individual, I believe, had muscle grafts. Will that be a problem?
Muscle grafts. How, like, obvious?
Significant are they?
Sufficient to be for the person to be considered bulky, as you put it.
I suppose it'll do.
It was not exactly specified.
I guess we'll find out after the experiment's done if the graphs caused any kind of interference. I don't know. I could give my supervisor a call and find out.
That would probably be advisable. Different kinds of modifications sometimes can disturb processes in rather unpredictable ways, I'm told. Well, I'm yelled at.
Yeah, and I'll give him a call, and then I walk out of the room for a second, and come back like 5 minutes later. Yeah, we're good. We can take it.
Excellent. He puts down the implements. He hadn't stopped actually doing the autopsy while talking to you. Let me just wash up for a moment and then I'll prepare the body for you.
And signed in triplicate.
Excellent, he calls over while he's washing his hands. You can drop the thrones on the desk, please. For a local job, that will be 200.
Alright. I'll go, like, reaching into, my little, throwing pouch. And start setting him out on the table.
1, 2, 3.
2.25. 2.5.
Damn, now I lost my count. Let me start again.
I knew I should have opted for that logic implant.
In the meantime, the coroner is walking into a room to the side. As he opens the door, you feel this wave of cold air run towards you. It's basically a walk-in freezer.
Mm.
He goes in and comes out a few minutes later with a big black bag. Here we go. And he puts it up on the table, opens it up. There's a fairly bulky individual in there. You can tell that the muscles have been grafted rather than come from natural exercise. They don't really look natural, but it's not something that would be obvious under clothes.
Mm.
He walks over to the table where you left the thrones, quickly counts them. Yep, that seems to be in order. The paperwork work seems fine too. Is there anything else I can do for you?
I think that about covers it. We didn't have anything else that we needed to fill out, did we?
No, you have signed quite enough paperwork.
Aw, I was just getting into the gear, you know. Into the swing of things.
I mean, you could do my tax returns for me if you want to.
Tithe returns. That's what I do for, recreation.
Would you like me to gather my receipts?
Well, I suppose we should not take any more of your time. And and our superiors do have a schedule to keep.
Yes, that's how it usually is. Well then, I wish you the best of luck in your experiments.
No, alright. Let's
The body is yours to take.
We ferry the body away.
And
Lost
cut
200
back-
throne, gain 1 body.
And cut back to Dracon, who has spent a solid hour torturing poor Dennis.
Poor guy.
Please,
You mean Steve?
I'm gonna give him different names every time.
Oh, he's Bob.
Well, how am I supposed to form an intricate relationship with my victim if his name changes every time I see him?
That's a good question. Richard, why does your name keep changing?
Yes, Steve. Why does it keep changing, Jake?
Michael,
Tell me, or
answer
I'll
the
crush
question.
the other nut.
That's just his full name, guys. He just never gets to finish it.
So you've been torturing Johnny for about an hour, and he's ready to squeal like a pig. Please, I'll tell you anything. Just make it stop.
The names of your employers and how you contacted them.
They would usually contact us, but one of the other guys, he said he followed one of them once. Said they were working somewhere out of Haplocks at 27B.
Haplocks 27B. This is rather tiring work. Would you like some water?
Yes?
I look back to the stormtrooper. Well, get the man some water.
He salutes you after a moment and then leaves the room.
You see, Steve, if you give me the information I ask for the first time, you get rewarded. I don't have to punish you.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any family on this planet?
But please, sir, leave them alone.
Did I say I was going to hurt them? I'm simply making conversation with you.
Tell me about your hopes, dreams, desires.
So I can crush them all.
Exactly.
I do, sir.
Well, are they your wife and children? Are they your brothers, your mother? Please extrapolate. Tell me about your family.
Do you say do you say GIF or GIF?
No, I'm not going to even ask that question because then we won't be presenting a living corpse to them.
My mother lives over in Block C59, as does my younger brother. I've got an ex-wife.
An ex-wife, and why is that? Why is she your ex-wife?
She found someone else.
And I bet
Somewhere through the pain and desperation, you hear a bit of bitterness.
I bet that makes you angry that she found someone else, doesn't it?
I mean, yes, it does.
Good.
Well,
Who's your bitterness?
Anger leads to suffering.
well, perhaps after this we can resolve that issue.
What?
Well, you see, you're assisting an inquisitorial investigation into the goings on here on this planet, and the very fact that you were involved in making war beasts, that's an act of brilliance that I doubt she ever valued in you. Um, but perhaps you can go back to her and say that you assisted the Inquisition, the mightiest and most noble of every citizen's possible activities.
Give me your choice of charm or deceive, with a plus 30 bonus because he's completely out of his mind at the moment of pain.
I will use charm because I'm actually being truthful. The trick to a good torturer is you always tell the truth. If your victim ever sees that you lied, if it ever catches you in a lie, then the torture doesn't work anymore. However, I'm not exactly charming.
Luckily, he's also shit at scrutiny.
Hmm.
You actually match in degrees of failure. Alrighty then.
Oh, well, that happens. Usually re-roll.
Yeah, let's try that. A lot better. Alright then. That sounds nice, I think.
Now, if you do not wish to be with such an individual who has been found wanting in the Department of Loyalty, uh, I would completely understand, in which case, whatever you requested, I would be obliged to commit. Again, you are helping me.
May I would. I've always wanted to be a real researcher, to be part of the Mechanicum, to work in a real lab.
You wish to go to Mars?
Oh, sir, that would be a dream far, far above me, but just actually being able to work as a researcher in one of the manufactorums here on this planet.
You would wish to stay in this cesspool of lies and deceit and criminal activity?
Honestly, I don't even know what I would do with myself on Mars. On holy Mars. Just this planet here I could maybe do something.
Well, we'll see what else comes up. Now you said they called them on Hablock 27B. Did you hear any names being used? And who was this individual? And was he in the building at the time of our raid?
Well, my coworker who followed the guy to who told me he'd followed the guy to Havelock 27B. He said the guy met with another man he had a strange arm. He said sort of scaled, modified somehow.
A scaly modified arm.
Give me a logic check.
God damn it.
Doesn't ring a bell. They, I mean, at this point, he may have just been showing off. I have no idea if anything he said was even true. But he said they called each other enlightened.
They call each other enlightened. To me, this sounds almost borderline cult-like. Did they ever ask you to uh, give away your possessions? Ever ask you to donate to any sort of cause?
No, sir, they paid me for work. They just asked me to continue to make war beasts for them, and they would pay me for it.
And you've never heard anything about any of their plans for these war beasts?
No, sir, we weren't. We were just told to keep making them, and we were paid for it. We were paid very well, much more than dumb labor would have earned us.
Tell me about your work. How many war beasts did you actually make? How many do you know to have existed at any one time? And were any ever shipped off elsewhere or moved to another holding area?
Oh, since since the facility, well, since I came to the facility, I think there were 5 waves of war beasts, so maybe 40, 50. But the
The,
facility was already running when I came.
there are 40 or 50 of those things running around right now.
Well, probably not running around. Hopefully trained.
Let me rephrase. There are 40 or 50 of them at different locations.
Yes.
Did you ever hear of where those locations might be?
I'm sorry I didn't. They just they sent someone to fetch them. They were tranquilized and loaded into a vehicle, and we never saw them again.
Did you ever hear the
Except
name of the one that was sent to tranquilize them?
oh no, we did the tranquilizing. The one who came to fetch them was, well, the same guy who would usually deliver our pay.
And you don't know where he is, but you do know what he looks like.
Well, yes. He was blonde, short hair, long dark coat, had a small scar on the left side of his face. Always got angry if anyone asked him anything, especially his name. He beat someone to death once.
And you didn't report it.
What would I have reported? That someone was beaten to death in the illegal war beast procreation facility?
Did you ever tell that man's family what happened to him?
No, we told them it was an accident.
Was the family properly uh, afforded for the loss? Uh, were they taken care of?
I don't know. They were from a different hab block. I never saw them again.
I'm going to give you the opportunity here and now to record all information that you have about this group. I will then have it verified, and all the individuals who you list will be located. If anything comes back to be false. If I find out you've lied to me in any way, my promises of advancing your careers and ensuring your family's safety, they will be void.
He nods.
And the stormtrooper comes back with the water, I assume?
He's actually been waiting outside for about 5 minutes, seeing that you were talking to him rather closely.
This man's thirsty, and you didn't find it prudent to just step in when I requested you get him water. Come,
Apologies,
give
sir.
him the water.
He steps inside and
And then
holds the glass of water up to the prisoner's mouth. The prisoner still being tied up.
release his bonds. He's of no threat.
The stormtrooper looks at you, confused for a moment, and then goes, "Yes, sir." And he releases the bonds.
And gives the man the glass of water.
Under your, at this point, withering glare, yes, he does.
Yes. Alright. At that point, Stormtrooper and I are going to step out of the room. Lock and seal the door so the prisoner can't hear us. Thank you for the for acting in the proper role.
Of course,
it is
sir.
much appreciated. Now, I do need to get him a data slate so that he can give us the names and locations of everyone he knows. At that point, I will be requesting that you and your fellow stormtroopers go and retrieve them. We are going to bring this to a stop as soon as possible. This man is to be afforded all due respect for aiding the Inquisition. I have made promises to him, and I expect those promises to be kept if and only if every amount of evidence he has provided comes back true.
Yes, sir. It will be done.
Again, he is not to be harmed unless I'm the one doing the harming, and that's only if he's lied to me.
Yes, sir.
And at that point, it's up to the stormtroopers to get the data pad, have them fill it out, investigate it. I'm leaving it on them at this point.
Yeah. Are you leaving towards your hideout?
No, I'm staying here in the building.
Oh, this
And
is
I've
going to
still
take
got-
a while.
Yeah, well, I'm still in the building. I want to hear what they hear. I want to see what they see. That sort of thing.
Right. So the stormtrooper steps aside, goes away, fetches the data slate, brings it back to the prisoner, who spends about 15-20 minutes writing things down. The stormtrooper steps outside, assembles some other stormtroopers, hands names to them, as well as locations, and sends them off.
Good. You can jump back to the other guys at this point. I know it's going to take a long time for them to go out to the hat blocks, pick up everybody, bring them all back to this building, put them in different cells.
All
But
right, then.
I'm going to go ahead and, do the whole earpiece thing, Gentlemen and ladies, it appears that we have quite a trove of information from this gentleman. That would be to Kirby and the rest of the group.
Oh. What did he divulge?
He's provided names of every single employee that he can recall. He has provided descriptions of those he could not, which we can then track down via any forms of media present on this planet. I don't know if facial recognition is a thing or not, but if it is, then using that. If not, then
Facial recognition as such is probably not a thing.
okay.
Consider that most more advanced machines are made with human neural system as components, and you can see how advanced their algorithms can be.
Gotcha. Long story short, he's provided us quite a trove. It will take a long period of time to get through all of it, and I will be taking a personal hand with every individual that does get picked up to ensure that we have corroborating stories.
Alright then, in the meantime, what are the other three doing?
Well, we have the body.
Correct.
You have the body.
Now comes disguising the body.
Do we need to acquire specific clothing?
Arbortee's clothing. It's about really all we need to get local officer's uniform. Since that's what's been established.
Alright. The quest to get an Arbitrator's Uniform 2.0. Electric Boogaloo.
Oh dear.
Now, I wonder how hard that's gonna be.
Well, that really depends.
That is true.
So, what you gonna do?
Well, let's go surfing through our list of aliases and identity. And I'm going to look for one on there for an Arbitrace ranked investigator.
You don't have one of those, but you can probably get one made.
Alright, so I'll see if I can get one made.
You call the interrogator, put in the request. It's going to take a few hours, but such a thing can be arranged.
Yeah. So I'll be willing to wait.
As all other things, this will be coming out of your operational budget.
Yeah. Figured.
Operational budget, what's that?
Almost none.
It's a budget that you have to spend, otherwise you get less next time.
Hey, just like the defense budget.
So
Got it.
At the same time, it's a budget you need to make last till the end of the month, because you need to eat from that.
Yeah.
Just like the defense budget.
Yes. Most of it is spent on, basic human
Munitions.
expenses. Yeah.
Fucking, we've been told the horror stories of the teams that have spent the entire operational budget on a shiny new gun and then starved.
Sucks to be them.
So far, we spent a chunk of the operational budget on disguises
And bribes.
bribes.
Lots and lots of bribes.
Bribes.
So from this point forward, it is now prudent that we be quite stingy. Until the end of the month.
Which is why you're in charge of the fund.
Oh, I see how it is.
I see what's happening here.
Profiled again. God damn it. Why does this always happen to me?
Alright, anything else you guys want to do while you wait for a new ID and people to be brought in for questioning respectively?
Yeah.
Marcus, no illegal experiments you want to do on Kirby?
I mean, that does sound fun, but, you know what they say, you gotta wait at least 24 hours before you can...
Make another genetic modification, yes.
Yes, you have a cooldown
I mean, what?
period.
I mean, what genetic modification? Alright then.
Perfect. Third red. There we go.
In the afternoon, a courier comes by with a package
Me
for...
right now. Profiled again.
Aw, poor Chris. Anyways, in the afternoon, a courier comes by with a package for you.
Alright. Go outside, grab the package, and bring it in. Pray it's not a fucking package bomb.
It is, in fact, the ID you requested.
Alright, good. I'm not being Allahu Imperatord.
Not yet.
Give it time, give it time.
Also, I believe it was Imperator Akbar.
It is.
Yes.
Anyways, Dracon, the first people are being brought in.
Yay! I'll wait until they're nice and comfy in their new chairs.
In this case, 3 so far. A woman, a child who is with a woman, and a man. The woman seems to be around 40-ish, with a young boy, maybe 10, 12.
I tell the stormtroopers to ensure that the woman's cell is next to the little boys.
He nods. The man is tall, blonde, wearing the most ridiculous coat you have ever seen anyone. Black and gaudy, like you wouldn't believe. He also seems utterly unconcerned at the situation, which seems odd.
That is odd, considering who just picked him up.
To be sure, they would not have announced that they were with the Inquisition.
Fair. Which I do have a bad habit of doing.
Fair.
But that's only when, people are going to actually leave my care. But it's a bad habit.
So
I do
what should I
have rights of terminatus with these individuals, right? Like, outside of the one I just spoke to, these new ones, I can do whatever the hell I please
With the civilians or with stormtroopers?
with the civilians.
Well, this is a yes, but. Technically, you could execute all of them, and that would be well within your rights. However, pointlessly executing people does tend to send the wrong message. That message being the Inquisition is on the planet.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not going to pointlessly execute them. But if it comes down to I have to admit that if I run into a brick wall and I have to admit that I'm Inquisition to some of these people, those people are either A, going to be forced into some sort of black hole site, fucking off-world, never seen again, or executed. That would be the
You are permitted to take lives to maintain operation security, yes.
Okay.
Now, it will reflect poorly upon you if you do that often, because it means that you had to take lives to protect operational security, which means you have poor operational security.
Yeah, and I'm going to try to avoid that.
But let's face it, in the 40k universe, nobody cares about a few lives.
Nope.
My character cares.
As I said, nobody.
Oof.
That is a setup you should never give me.
Fucking oof. Very well. I'm going to walk to the young boy's cell. Now I saw him brought in, but I'm assuming he had a black bag over his head or something. Based on height and weight, what could I roughly guess to be his age?
As I said, about 10, maybe 12.
Okay. So I'm going to go into his cell. And preferably with the data pad from the previous Johnny, whatever his fucking name was.
I
Steve.
think we're currently at Bob.
Bob? Okay. So
We can also call him Shaniqua if you prefer.
I heard Johnny, and I had like a fucking Vietnam War flashback to the Shadowrun game.
Johnny Colorado.
That's my name.
Johnny!
anyways, so Bob, Steve, whatever his fucking name was. I
believe we were after Shaniqua.
Alright, Shaniqua.
Mario.
Go into the room with Shaniqua's data pad.
Mario.
And I'm going to be trying to figure out who this kid is in correlation with the information he provided.
Well, there's precisely one kid on that data slate. Remember when you talked about the family of the coworker who got killed because he asked questions?
Yeah.
This is probably him. The son.
Okay.
You probably should have been more specific with the stormtroopers.
No, this is okay. I can resolve this. The kid's name?
Little Severin.
Severn. Okay.
What you're saying is that his next
Good,
name would be Todd.
I do
Good
not
afternoon,
get that
Severin.
reference.
Silly character concepts. A guy whose name changes alphabetically each time it's mentioned. We're at Shaniqua, so his name should be Todd next. Or something with a T.
That's fair.
Alright. So Severin. How are you doing this afternoon?
He's a 10-year-old kid with a bag over his head who was just kidnapped. He's terrified and not coherent.
Mercy, my lord, mercy.
So he doesn't answer the question.
No, he cries.
Fucking
Okay.
10-year-old kid.
I removed the black bag from his head. It's okay.
He squints and cries.
This is just protocol. Relax.
I want to see my mommy. Where did you take
will.
me? Where am I?
You will very shortly. We just have a few questions to ask, and then you will go back home. Don't worry about it, okay?
You will
You're
be reacquainted with your mother.
He starts crying harder.
That's not ominous.
I didn't say that.
Oh, I know. He's crying harder because you're in the room. Consider what your presence does to a 10-year-old kid who's already terrified.
Like, you got the presence of a
God
fucking of a demon.
Yeah, they don't
boy.
have any
Yeah,
willpower whatsoever to...
Like, here's the problem: you make everyone uncomfortable, and you're built like John Jones.
I know.
How do you think this fucking kid fits?
I'm fully aware. Fully aware. My life is not an easy one. I cannot be a wet nurse and an inquisitorial
you might as well have
interrogator.
told like this pipsqueak child that like his parents had hired someone to beat his ass, and then just you hear fucking Brock Lesnar's theme song kick on.
More like Bray Wyatt, but yeah. So, or Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, Bray Wyatt.
All right. Listen, your mother is literally in the next cell. I just have some questions, and I need you to remain calm so that I can get the answers I require. You and your mother are going to be okay.
Please give me a phenomenal charge. God damn it. Speaking hard. Give me a phenomenal charm check.
And on a side note, when he said your mother, I don't know why, but just mentally I had replaced anything he had said with your mother was a hamster and your father smelled of elderberries. Which is just a weird thing to say to a child.
The kid starts to positively bawl.
I take the black bag and I tie it around his mouth.
Oh.
So as to gag him. I am tired of his charades.
What charades?
Have you ever heard a kid cry? It is the worst sound on the planet.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
It is like a bone saw grating along every nerve in your body.
Have you ever had to soothe a child who hours beforehand ate at a fucking buffet nothing but calamari and then proceeded to vomit it up, and I had to stand in the same fucking room with them? I don't know why, but for some reason other people's vomit is the worst stench imaginable.
No, it's not.
Especially when it's like fucking calamari.
I have dealt with other people's vomit before. It's bad, but it's not the worst.
I've had a lot of strange liquids on me.
I honestly don't know a worse smell, and I'm including several-day-old bodies in that.
Now that one I cannot. I have not experienced a several-day-old body.
Yeah, I've not experienced that, but I have experienced porta-johns in the desert used by 5,000 soldiers, and all those soldiers were eating is MREs, military-grade food, and roach trucks.
You know what? That may actually be worse.
It's fucking bad. What was worse than that was after I got out of that environment, went home for leave, followed my brother in as he was coming out of the bathroom, I was going in.
Yeah,
That was worse.
How?
I cannot possibly describe the stench that was wafting out of that bathroom, but I could not enter that room. It's like something literally had crawled inside him and died.
I mean, did he used to own a gerbil?
He's like, what the fuck have you been eating? The other soldiers who were eating the MREs?
Effectively. So, yeah, I'm gonna gag the child, and then I'm gonna go into the mother's cell.
She's also crying. She also seems rather frantic.
Ma'am, first off, let me apologize for having
Who the
you.
fuck are you? What did you do to us? Where's my son?
Your son is in the next cell.
What do you want from us?
I just want a few answers to a lot of questions that I possess. Nothing more.
What answers could we possibly have that justify this?
After your husband's death, did you or did you not receive funds, payment?
Of course I didn't. Who would give us money?
Well, if it wasn't for the soulless employer, I had hoped that perhaps um, he would have. But, well, it appears that hope is now gone. Um, do you know who your husband actually worked for? Not who you were told, but who he actually worked for?
He was a laborer. He carried things in a warehouse.
Um, refresh my memory real quick. What was his actual job?
You don't actually know, but he was definitely working inside of the facility that made war beasts. So he was probably either a guard or one of the people who, well, were hands-on in the making of the war beasts.
No, he was not a simple laborer.
What on earth are you talking about? Sorry, what in holy terror are you talking about?
Did or did not your husband have knowledge of chemicals? Any sort of formal training?
No, of course not.
Then your husband was a guard over those that did.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Your husband was lying to you to try to make more money, and he was doing so illegally. That is why you're in this room right now.
My husband is dead and has been for years. What the hell are you doing?
Ma'am, I have been nothing but respectful to you. I demand
You
that
kidnapped
you
me and
leave
my
this-
son.
I did no such thing. That
You
was
had
those
my
two
son
men
and
out there.
myself kidnapped.
Again, that was those men out there. I have been nothing but respectful to you.
And am I to believe that you had nothing to do with that decision? You who now, instead of these men, stand in my cell? Do you think I'm a fucking
Ma'am,
moron?
No, actually, I don't. Which is why you're sitting here. See, a wife typically knows what her husband's true job is. And so
Yes,
a
he
wife,
was a laborer in a manufactorum warehouse.
no, he was a guard in a building conducting illegal research. And he knew it to be illegal based on the amount of money that it made, and you profited from it.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. My husband would have never.
And yet he did. I'm gonna walk out of the cell. This bitch is trying my patience. And I'm going to ask the stormtroopers, did you pick up all three of these at the same time?
No, sir, those were different teams picking them up.
Okay. Do me a favor. Bag her and her son um, and put them in the same room together. Watch and listen to the interactions. And I'm going to enter the third cell again, or the third cell with the blonde guy.
He perks up as he hears someone come in and turns his bagged head towards you, towards the noise. So, one of your jokers finally ready to talk to me?
I returned.
The men that brought you into me aren't typically the talking type. I, however, do enjoy a good conversation. May I know your name?
No, you may not.
Well,
Damn,
that's a rather rude
shut
way to start a
down.
conversation. You wish to
You
talk? Talk.
You have no idea who you're messing with. I recommend that you back off and you do so now.
Oh shit. Power move.
Well, it seems a very precarious situation we find ourselves in because, as I recall, I'm the one that holds all the cards to your freedom or your summary execution. So, tell me again where it is you have the authority or the ability to make demands.
You're not the one who holds all the cards, you're the one who will die alongside with his family, his friends, and everyone who has ever known him if you do not release.
Well, that's really interesting. That is so interesting. Because, well, wouldn't I have to have friends, family, and things of that nature in order for me to care about that threat? As I come and sit right in front of him. Now, it's clear to me that we got off on the wrong foot. So I'll
He
introduce
scoffs.
myself, and you'll introduce yourself, and we'll have a civil conversation. Or we won't. And then I'll get to have a lot of fun. My name is Crusader Dracon. And who do I have the pleasure of speaking to?
You, child, address one of the enlightened. Now step down, step out, and let me go.
I've heard of you. I appreciate your honesty. Um, but you didn't tell me your name. You just told me that you're a member of the organization that I'm actually looking forward to meeting. So,
He laughs at that.
what's your name again?
Looking forward to meeting us. Adorable. My name is none of your concern and none of your business.
And I punch him in the fucking throat.
Oh! You will.
You will answer my questions.
I will dance on your grave, is what I'll do.
Hard to do when you're tied down to a chair, Mr. Enlightened.
I won't be tied up here long. My people will come and find me. And then there will be hell to pay.
They will find you gargling on your tongue if you step out of line again. Now, what is your name?
If they find me hurt, they will pull down this place brick by brick.
I dare to see them try.
You will.
But once again, you haven't answered a single one of my questions. And I'm just trying very, very hard to be cordial with you. And you're making that impossible. As I'm going to smash his hand against the armrest.
Ah! You son of a bitch.
Well, yeah, my mother was quite a bitch. Some might call her a cunt. So, you know. But we're not talking about my family history here. Your name.
It's none of your fucking business.
And time for some interrogation. I'm gonna
Go
bring
ahead.
all of my toys to bear. He won't answer a simple question as his name. He's getting an interrogation roll. And I'm bringing all of my toys.
Give me that roll. Plus 10 bonus for the toys.
Only 10? You gave me a 30.
Only 10. Yeah, the other guy was terrified. This guy's not.
I will fate point that. God damn it.
Alright. So you take up the scalpel, look appropriately menacing, and promptly slip and stab that into your own leg. Take 1 point of damage. As the Enlightened is laughing uproariously.
I'll slash his Achilles tendon.
His laugh turns into a scream of pain. You fucking bastard!
Again, I was born out of wedlock.
I will make
You're
you
really good at
regret the day
figuring
you were
who I-
born.
You think I don't? I'm soulless, you fucking twat.
Crusader abandoned by the Emperor. Oh, that is a fucking joke.
Well, I caught you, didn't I?
Maybe.
What kind
But
of
you will
hilarity is
die.
currently going on?
So
You will
what?
die. You will die painfully. And when you're done, you will not be in the Emperor's guiding hand.
So, can I
It's-
try again on that interrogation? Since I completely fucked up and stabbed myself before the interrogation even started.
Sure, but at this point, you're taking a minus 20.
Boom.
Alright. So you spend the next 2 hours torturing that man. And in the meantime, I believe we'll be switching to the other,
Okay.
who I believe were attempting to procure an Arbitrate's uniform.
I tried that before. Good luck, guys.
Yes, no, maybe. Hello?
I got the identity correct.
You did get the identity. Yes, it was delivered by courier.
Alright. I'm going to go down to the Arbitrace location located closest to the spaceport.
Do that. It's about 4 or 5 blocks away.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Oh, I'm gonna go inside, and then we go up to the front desk.
Good day, sir. What can I do for you?
Hi, can I speak with the marshal?
And who might you?
I hand him my little ID, and I'm like, why do I keep saying intelligence? Investigator Octus.
I see. Of course, sir. I will inform the marshal. He steps away for a moment. Then comes back. The marshal will see you now. Please follow me.
I follow.
He leads you to an office, knocks, opens the door, and then motions for you to go in.
I step inside.
There's a weaselly-looking man on the desk. At the desk, I mean. And who are you?
Investigator Octus. And I hand him my little badge.
I see. From off-world, are you?
Yes.
What are you here for?
I am currently on the hunt for a particular type of criminal who had just recently docked on this planet.
I see. What kind of criminal?
He's from one of the high worlds. He's one of the gangers. He specializes as a procurement specialist. Smuggling.
I see. A smuggler. Well, smuggling would be quite a big problem, so...
Especially considering what he's smuggling.
Which would be?
You wouldn't happen to deal too much in, well, artifacts from lesser races.
I do not deal in anything. But no, I'm not aware of a significant artifact trade.
This particular individual trades in contraband from races that our armed forces deal with on a daily basis.
So you're saying he's not a smuggler, he's a heretic?
He's a smuggler and a heretic. Those artifacts should not be smuggled, must be destroyed. I'm here to find him and either A, bring him in, or B, leave nothing remotely left of him.
He nods to you. Will you require assistance?
At the moment, I've been given a cover identity. I require a uniform, just so I can blend in and not stand out too much. I have an Arbitrace uniform from Offworld, but obviously that's got insignias for that planet. I don't want to give him the idea that I'm already onto him.
Can be arranged. I assume your cover identity is nominally affiliated to this headquarters?
Yes.
Excellent. Then you will be reporting your... well, whatever happens on this investigation to me.
I will.
Good. I shall inform the quartermaster that you will be given a uniform.
Alright, perfect.
So
Is there anything
that's
else?
how it's done.
Yeah, it turns out telling him I'm from Offworld, but I'm not going to tell you who I am or why I'm here is not a good idea. That's not something people in power positions usually respond well to. Especially bureaucrats.
Should have just gone, I'm here to party!
I just googled Adeptus Arbitrace ranks, saw Investigator, and went with it. As it turns out, it just works. Which is like the exact opposite of Fallout 76.
I mean, as an analogy, imagine you went to a different unit in the army, asked one of the sergeants for a uniform,
Oh yeah,
and when he
I'm
asked who
tracking
you
that
were,
I
you
fucked
told
up.
him, "I'm not going to tell you."
Yeah, I'm tracking I fucked up. I got you.
Yeah, but it's all good in the hood.
Alrighty then. You acquired your uniform. Let's cut back to the poor tortured soul.
Mercy, my lord.
And also the victim.
Have I gotten his name?
Not yet. Would you like to ask again?
Yeah. So I'll ask you again. What is your name?
My name is Viridian Valtis.
Well, Viridian Valtis, you were a tough nut to crack. I'll give you that. But everyone cracks eventually. Everyone has a breaking point. Now you're in a good bit of trouble. You're a member of the Enlightened. You've been found in connection with the illegal manufacture of war beasts, the illegal transportation of war beasts. Um, yeah, that's it's bordering high crimes and treason, if not a heresy outright. Um, and so I have to ask, how are you able to afford to pay for these scientists that you pay so well? And why couldn't you do the simple, uh, honorable thing in taking care of one of your guards, one of your dead guards' families?
He gives you a look that just screams, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
So you're a member of the Enlightened, but you have no idea what I'm talking about for anything else?
What guard? It seems he's a bit hung up on that last point of him apparently having to take care of some guard's family.
Gotcha. So you admit that you are involved in the illegal manufacture and transportation of war beasts.
We create, we preserve, we destroy. We are the enlightened.
He also made great cheese.
The insane is
God
more
damn
likely.
it. Now I'm imagining a cow war beast that makes cheese. Just doesn't even give milk, just makes pre-made cheese.
That sounds fucking amazing. I want one.
Yeah, but it's fucking awful, the cheese. Because this is the 40k universe, everything is awful.
Now I don't want one.
Wise choice.
So you create and you destroy. You transport these war beasts just to destroy them, then?
We sell, we entertain, we make them fight.
You sell them. Okay. Um. So, if you're in the process of selling them, that is clearly a violation. All right. Here's what I'm going to do for you. Okay. You have a choice. You can do the right thing here and now, and inform me of the names and locations and the real identities of every single one of your.
He starts
fellow-
laughing even more. They are so much scarier than you are. For what you have done to me, you will pay. I just regret that I won't be here to see it.
Will that be cash or credit?
At that point, he bites his tongue off.
I would have loved to have a reaction.
Go ahead, give me some sort of agility check.
Okay, because my reaction is going to be lodging my hand down into his mouth to stop him from biting down. Period.
So you're gonna have a -10 on the agility check.
Mainly because he started to say, I won't be here to see it. And, well, that's Cyanide Capsule 101.
That is why you get an agility check.
And I made it.
Oh good, now give me a toughness check.
And I made that too.
Excellent, you do not lose any fingers. As you stuff your hand in his mouth to prevent him from biting off his own tongue, there's a moment of pain as his teeth dig in.
I'm going to scream out to the stormtroopers, "Get the sedative!"
2 stormtroopers rush in. One of them has a syringe. He jabs it into the man's arm. It takes a moment, and then the teeth loosen. They come out of the wound in your hand with a sucking sound. Take 1 damage.
I tell him you will pay for that before he falls unconscious.
Right then, you have an unconscious suspect.
I'm going to...
And also bleeding hand. Covered in saliva.
Yeah. We're getting that bandaged. Now, he was able to bite through my armored hand.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you wearing armored gloves?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind on that damage then. Instead, he now has no teeth anymore. He's also bleeding profusely from his gums.
Okay. I make sure his face is forward so he doesn't drown on his own blood.
Wise decision.
And tell the stormtroopers, get a medic in there to fix that. We've got at least one of them, so good job, gentlemen.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
And do try to keep him sedated for a while. And I'm going to contact Kirby. Lord Kirby. Kirby.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I've been muted. Yes, I've been summoned on the phone.
Yeah.
I pick up because I imagine this is a bit after I've gotten the uniform. It didn't take that long. Or maybe I'm in the quartermaster's room getting the uniform. Which one is it?
You picked up a uniform from the quartermaster.
Alright. So I'd be exiting the building at this point, making my way to the hideout. So I'd like touch the little radio, and I'm like, yes, hello?
We got one of them.
Oh, perfect.
One of the enlightened.
The fuck's that?
It is a, for all intents and purposes, Mechanicus cult that believes in creation and then destruction. The ones in charge of actually making the war beasts and selling them and making them fight and the whole 9 yards. He's been rather difficult to deal with. He's currently being seen by a dentist because he decided to attempt to bite his own tongue off so he wouldn't be able to tell me anything more. As a result of that, I put my gloved fist in his mouth and he has no more teeth. So, but he didn't bite his tongue off. And we can fix teeth. He can still talk. It's just a matter of getting him the right drugs to force him to tell the truth at this point.
All right, that's good.
He is resisting.
I'm gonna have the dialoguist help us write a full report.
The
into the interrogator.
The scientist, however, he has given up everything he knows willingly, and for the most part, without much work. I feel that he is aiding us in good faith and should be rewarded for his efforts. Getting him and his family off this planet once and for all. Perhaps get him a trip to Mars. He seemed to be fascinated with the prospects of that.
It's a cozy thought. You think you're gonna be able to swing the interrogator?
Well, he willingly served the Inquisition, again, without much effort on my part, and without at first knowing it. So, I did layer that in there eventually. But
that is true. But you got to remember, he is of civilian clearance, Ben. He's seen a lot of
precisely, and we're better for him to serve the Emperor.
I'll make a note of it. Anything else? Anything I should know about?
I'll have a full report ready for you by the time you are finished with what you're doing. I do not believe the mechanic. Is it a Magus?
Magos.
Magos. I do not believe the Magos requires the scientist. He would have more fun with the enlightened. The scientist means nothing to him at this point.
Yeah. Well, I got the uniform.
Good. Put it to good use.
So now we just got to disguise the body.
Indeed.
Which shouldn't be hard at this point.
Do you require my maul?
Would help, but I wouldn't want to deprive you of a maul.
Well, I would be the one swinging it, of course. I'm done here, is what I'm trying to say, Kirby.
You know what? Could be fun. Could be good fun whacking a corpse.
Very well. I'll meet you at the safe house.
Yeah. And keep an eye over your shoulder. We are being watched.
I will do the best that I can.
And I take my hand off the little radio, in the transmission.
Yep. And at this point, I am going to tell the stormtroopers to keep this man sedated. He will be being transported in the near future.
It's treason, then.
They salute and nod.
And I am going to go back to the safe house.
Does the rest return to the safe house as well?
Hopefully.
And
Hopefully, yeah.
in doing so, I am keeping an eye over my shoulder to see if I'm being followed.
Everyone, give me awareness checks.
Oh boy. Big boy awareness check incoming. I passed.
Bollocks.
Might as well.
All the bollocks. All of the time.
At least I passed, guys.
Yeah, but I'm walking alone. You're not.
None of you notice anything suspicious on your way back.
Well, that's suspicious.
Not even me.
Not even you. Do remember that awareness checks are opposed.
No.
They are if you're trying to hide.
Nope.
Man,
I'm just being contradictory to be contradictory. Don't mind me.
I passed. The DM still found a way to fuck me.
Oh, Chris, I will always find a way to fuck you. I mean, what?
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 Now, as I said, you don't notice anything suspicious on your way back. And you reconvene in your place. Do you compare notes?
Well, I will be. Like I said, I'm giving him a full report. So everything I know,
Well-
he knows now.
I don't
Is
know
any-
how much we have notes to compare, considering we just got a corpse. I mean, it's right there.
Is anyone reading the report?
No, I'm sliding
Yes.
it over to him. Oh,
Yes,
okay.
I am reading the
So,
report.
Marcus, is what you're showing me here.
Then please give me a
your,
logic check.
Your Imperial Scottish renegade character you're going to play.
Actually, I'm sorry. You don't get to make that logic check.
Oh well.
My apologies. You were not there.
But would my report not include the videotapes of the
But no,
interrogations?
I'm not talking about the interrogations. She was not there at the event that this could have reminded her of.
Oh, okay.
Is anyone else
Yes,
reading the
yes.
report?
I'd
She
give
was
it a
off praying
good
at the
read.
time.
Yeah, I would give it a good read.
Then also give me a good logic check, please.
Now then, here's the actual problem with me rolling logic.
Don't have it.
I'm illogical.
Marcus, do you bother reading the report? Or is Kirby reading it out loud?
I would read it out loud because I do
Marcus,
that in real life to
logic
the
check.
detriment of everyone around me.
Sure, if he's reading it out loud.
Turns the sound up so you can hear the screams of the.
Alright, none of you know Jack.
Marcus, why must you be retarded?
Can somebody fate point that, please?
I'll fate point mine. Let's see what it accomplishes. Nothing.
See, now you wasted a perfectly good roll.
That was a 50, a perfectly good roll, you piece of shit.
You would have succeeded on that. Marcus, would you like to fate point?
Sure, let's roll 100.
Boom, you passed it.
Alrighty then. Something the scientist said stood out to you. He said his buddy claimed that the Enlightened had talked to someone with a scaled left arm. You've met someone like that.
To be fair, I immediately, when I heard scaled arm, remembered who that was. But mechanically, the GM
Marcus now remembers. You've met someone with that description.
Yeah.
You tried to buy drugs off of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's the bigger drug kingpin, not
Not old Ali.
not Ali A.
Insert name here. Yeah.
He did not give his name.
He did not give his name, but he did have a scaly arm, which means he's a scaly.
Scaly the scale kobold.
Isn't Scaly the lizard version of a furry?
Yeah, they just like animals with scales,
People are weird.
like dragons. That's there are books on like paraphilias and the really weird ways we sexualize things. They're
There
interesting,
are
but
erotic
then like
novels about dinosaurs.
yeah, I know. There's also a book that's it's a self-help novel that's on Amazon, and it's about how The Matrix was a factual documentary. And I'm like, the awful part about that book is that someone is feeling good about themselves and they shouldn't.
Man, what a scaly arm. Wasn't that the guy who sold us drugs?
Yeah.
Who? What?
I'm sorry?
As part of a sting operation to confirm that the claim about a missing military drug was real. Went out in search of if said drug is being sold in the street, and as it turns out, yes, it is.
And you did what with that information?
Well, we purchased some. I sent it to a lab, the Mechanicus lab, so they could confirm what was in it. They have confirmed it, and I offered the individual who's going to sell us a large percentage of it, particularly enough to fill the cargo bay of a Valkyrie, that I could get a Valkyrie to transport the stuff. Just as soon as I got it, we go to a meeting spot, he fill the thing up, and we take it somewhere and sell it. The thing is, though, it's not going to be an empty Valkyrie.
Oh.
Nah, I'm going to fill it with stormtroopers, and they're going to shoot the fuck out of them.
Well, now we need.
They've even set the phasers to stun for a second to, apprehend somebody.
You think there's a stun setting on Imperial?
Well, I mean, that's just the standard strength setting on the
Yeah.
Imperial lasgun.
Only if you're shooting at anything that isn't a human.
All we have to do is get him to the correct critical range where he suffers fatigue damage, and we're good. you know.
Well, now we need him alive so that we
Since
garner
based
his-
on our first real combat encounter, as it turns out, Holler is doing the thing I do, whereby every monster in the game takes critical damage.
I think that's just fair.
I like it because it makes combat dynamic. Interesting shit happens on the battlefield. Situations whereby someone eviscerates someone and now there's blood everywhere and they immediately fucking slip in. It's a very funny situation that immediately turns to like really bad situation when the bigger party member falls on top of them and fucking cracks their ribs. The force.
Good time. I remember that Super Mutant. It was good.
It was a fun campaign. And
He had
then
a
you had to
very
leave.
convincing smile.
Yeah. And then you had to leave early one day and then they fucked it up.
On the plus side, I got to nuke something.
Yeah.
Granted, that something was myself, but I got to nuke something.
Listen, a lot of people died that day, and that was the important thing.
Yeah, details.
At least I got to wipe out the 69ers.
The fucking 357 gang. I had to come up with an embarrassing group of fucking bandits like raiders, and I just called them the 357 gang because I gave them all stub revolvers.
You know, there's a biker club in Fayetteville called Fallen, and their president is known as 357.
I called them the 357 because the stub revolver is like the shittiest of all the stub weapons because it's a revolver that does ass damage, only single
Ass
shots.
damage?
Yes, ass damage. Damage to the
Ooh.
ass. It's single shot. It takes 2 fucking rounds to reload. So, like, in comparison to all of the other stub weapons, even the ones that do less damage, they at least have the ability to fire more than fucking once. And it reminded me of the awful pistol, the 357. No, sorry, the 32 pistol. The 357's not that bad in that game. 357 in real life is actually not that bad. Bit loud.
It's actually pretty good.
Bit loud though.
Some people consider that a bonus.
Yeah.
Situationally, yeah.
I don't know. Revolvers are neat. 32 though, in game sucks ass.
Alright then. So, you have acquired a body, you have acquired information, and you have acquired a...
Yep.
Now we need to kill
Now
it
time
with
to combine
fire.
them.
Now we need to combine the uniform with the body to make a uniformed body.
No, that's too logical. Adventure games aren't that logical.
Ah, yes. So
First,
here's
we
where-
need to find the moon rose by tickling the cat on the tree.
Okay, now we need to actually exit the room at some point though. So guys, what we have is we have a door that's unlocked and it's got a doorknob. You know, all the stuff necessary to open a door. We have an axe. We have some candle wax and a horseshoe. Now, can you figure out how to deal with this Herculean puzzle?
I used
Yeah.
the horseshoe on the door.
You're missing a feature, Marcus,
You-
to use the horseshoe on the door.
You put the candle wax on the horseshoe, then you put the horseshoe around the doorknob, and then you beat down the door with an axe.
No. Okay. This was a real fucking puzzle in a game, but you were like locked in an attic that didn't have a handle, and inside the room you had an axe, you had a hammer, some screwdrivers, candle wax, a horseshoe, and a number of other things. And the actual solution to the puzzle was you take the horseshoe, you melt the candle wax over the horseshoe to make an impromptu handle for the trap door.
Yes,
And I
wax
sat
is known
there
for
for
being
a
sturdy.
good solid 45 minutes in stunned silence after figuring that puzzle out,
Oh yes,
trying
yes,
to
and
figure out why the axe or the shovel couldn't fucking do
No,
anything.
No, you obviously need to remove the handle from the axe to get the kindling, so that you can melt the wax. Mm.
It was such a stupid fucking puzzle. I still lose fucking sleep over it. Why,
That's
God?
puzzles.
Why
They
is it so?
only make sense
Why
to
did it
the
have
crazy.
to be like that? I spent so much fucking time in that room. I couldn't figure it out.
The last turn is
That actually broke you, didn't it?
It fucking. I couldn't figure it out. I'm trying to figure out. Is there a fucking specific location that I need to strike with these wooden blunt objects. And the puzzle was fucking so stupid. Oh my god, I'm actually crying.
So you're telling that I can use that puzzle now against you?
You have admitted your weakness. It is the fatal flaw of every player.
I think the designer for that game really liked the game Fatal. Because it was the fatal flaw in my character.
Reminds me when at level 1 party is always defeated eventually by a wooded door in D&D.
I cast the daily lightning bolt at it. Didn't work.
And that's why you use the Bardic Knock spell.
Oh my god. That whole situation just pissed me off. Anyways, so let's get disguise in that body. Do I need to roll deceive to disguise the body well?
I think
You know what?
our medic should
Sure,
probably
give me one.
Pretty it up. Put lipstick on a pig.
Sure.
Is
Big
this a
boy
fetish thing?
rolls to deceive, and it actually works in my favor.
Let's do some lovely science to make this corpse look all proper and such.
Already done.
Okay, so Kirby dresses the body nicely. Like, it used to be a very finely pressed uniform that has then been ruffled by movement and being dragged and so on. And then Zebediah does some plastic surgery to make it look exactly like Dracon. At which point Kirby comes back in and puts some makeup on the corpse to make it look like a pretty version of Dracon.
And then I beat it to death with a fucking maul.
We do.
And
I
I
did
don't
a
turn-
very
And then
don't
Dracon
turn up.
bursts the head like a overripe.
I did a very good job at trying to capture both the an expression of horror and the appearance of Dracon. And then, based on that fucking roll Marcus did, he just walked up and drew a fucking fake mustache on it.
Pretty much.
Or about as much fucking assistance you provided with that.
Hey,
Yes,
it is a success, so
Evil Dracon!
can't complain. He looks just about as Draken as I can't make him look.
Oh no, I like to believe like when they're gonna fucking like examine the body and they see like the fake mustache, he's just like, huh, the Arbitrace funding for disguises sure went down.
So yes, you make an excellent copy of Dracon. For a moment, you're not entirely sure which is the real one.
And then I smash it.
And now I'm even more confused.
All your nice work has been for nothing.
My shock maul is not turned on. So there's no scorch marks,
Oh, I know there's no scorch marks. It's just that I did a very good job at capturing an expression of horror and fear on the face while I was beautifying it, and then you hit it in the nose.
Well, I did the same. And then I smashed it. I didn't say where I smashed it. I didn't specify the face.
Fucking eager after.
Alright then. Question. Do you want to tackle the next part of the adventure? That being, the actual try to pass off the dead body as dead Arbitrace part? Or do you want to adjourn till next week?
Yeah. Could almost start next week fresh.
I am not sure how long it's going to be until my wife gets back. I'm waiting on her before we leave. to go to this cookout, so I'm good for at least another 45. But if we want to wait until next week, we wait until next week.
You know, if you have to leave in 40 minutes, we probably should wait till next week.
We might get it. We might end up at a very unnatural stopping point
Correct.
than what we're currently at. Because right now we're basically at a completed task.
Yep. Which is
Last thing I
about
gotta
as
do is
stopping point as we could possibly ask for.
yeah. Last thing I gotta do is hand in a report to the interrogator and then pull some strings for a Valk.
And pull some strings to get a civilian off to Mars.
Now that is going to be fucking hard.
Without the
No.
with